What do you get when you put Eddie Murphy, Judge Reinhold, and John Ashton in an 80s cop movie? You get the hit comedy Beverly Hills Cop. The year is 1975. Future Disney CEO Michael Eisner is driving around Hollywood in a beat-up station wagon when a cop pulls him over. The officer is treating Eisner in a very condescending way just because of the condition of his vehicle. This made Eisner realize how much status in LA was driven by materialism, which made him exchange his station wagon for a Mercedes the next day, but also gave him the idea to make a movie about a Hollywood cop. Danilo Bach was hired to write the script and in 1981 sent a draft titled Beverly Drive, which had a Pittsburgh cop named Ellie Axel show up to Beverly Hills to investigate his friend's death. But Michael Eisner felt that this draft and the other drafts from the different screenwriters didn't capture the fish out of water feeling, and was too much of a straight action film. The script went around for a while, but was eventually left collecting dust. After the success of Flashdance, Don Simpson saw an opportunity to make Beverly Drive as his next big project, so he brought in Daniel Petrie Jr. to rewrite the script, which also happened to be his first feature screenplay. Paramount loved his comedic approach to the project, renaming the protagonist to Axel Foley and having him be from Detroit instead of Pittsburgh. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer has claimed that the role for Axel was first offered to Mickey Rourke, who accepted and even signed a $400,000 holding contract to make the film, but when pre-production took longer than expected, he dropped out to do another movie. Sylvester Stallone was then considered to play Foley, and after Petrie's script, he signed on to play the part. But trouble started when Stallone started rewriting the entire screenplay. In an interview, Stallone said that when he received Petrie's script, he thought it was sent to the wrong house. Having written the first 3 Rocky films and First Blood, Stallone rewrote Beverly Hills Cop back into a pure action film. Now, there's 2 problems. 1, this new script was exactly what the producers spent years avoiding. And 2, the script was too expensive to film. However, Stallone dropped out of the project 2 weeks before principal photography started. Rumors have it that it was over differences on what brand of orange juice was to be kept in the trailer. A majority of Stallone's script went into his 1986 film Cobra. As a nod to Stallone's involvement, in Beverly Hills Cop 2, you can see a poster for Cobra and First Blood in Billy's room. Anyways, 2 days after Stallone left, producers were able to convince Eddie Murphy to replace Stallone and started more rewrites. In those 2 days, other actors were considered for the role of Axel F., including Richard Pryor, Al Pacino, James Caan, Jeff Bridges, Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson, Robin Williams, Bruce Willis, Kurt Russell, and a bunch of other people. While Stallone was still signed up to play Foley, Martin Scorsese was offered the director's chair, but declined because he found the concept too similar to the Clint Eastwood film, Coogan's Bluff. After being fired from his second directing job, War Games, Hollywood saw Martin Brest as damaged goods. That is, everyone except Simpson and Bruckheimer. They asked Brest to direct a Beverly Hills Cop, but he kept declining. Simpson gave up, but Bruckheimer kept trying. Brest finally agreed to make the film after flipping a coin. The film was released on December 5th, 1984, and was a smash hit, receiving over $230 million with a $15 million budget. It became the highest grossing movie in 1984, and when adjusted for inflation, is the 8th highest grossing rated R film of all time. Not only was the movie a financial hit, but critics also went crazy over it, claiming it to be one of the best movies of all time, while praising Eddie Murphy for his outstanding comedic performance. In 2003, New York Times picked this as one of the 1,000 best movies ever made. It was nominated for an Academy Award under Best Original Screenplay. British Academy Film Awards nominated it for Best Score. Golden Globes nominated it for Best Comedy, and Eddie Murphy for Best Comedic Performance. The movie even won a Grammy for Best Score Soundtrack Album. 2 sequels came out, the first one doing well financially but having mixed reviews, and the third one failing both financially and critically. In 2013, A television pilot episode was made with Brandon T. Jackson playing Foley's son, but was not picked up. However, it did well enough for Paramount to put a fourth film into production. Which might still be happening? Not sure. Maybe they're stuck in production hell again. Who knows? Either way, what I do know is that Beverly Hills Cop is a movie that'll make you envy how cool and badass Eddie Murphy is as Axel. In case you don't know, the movie has Axel Foley, played by Eddie Murphy, as a cop from Detroit going to Beverly Hills to investigate the death of his best friend. Unfortunately, he's not exactly welcomed by the police, which makes it harder for him to look further into the case. From his witty lines to his crazy stunts to his hilarious laugh, Eddie Murphy is Axel Foley. It's weird thinking that there were other celebrities in mind to play this character. Murphy does such a good job at capturing a goofy yet serious out-of-town cop. Nothing he says feels scripted.
Well, it's about time. I thought you guys forgot I was down here. I was getting hungry. I never been in no cell that had a phone in it. Can I stay for a while? Because I ordered some pizza.
I'm aware that Murphy improvised many of his lines, which, in all honesty, from all the different scripts that were written and pasted together, I'm pretty sure Murphy downright saved the film and made it as successful as it is. The supporting actors are all great. Judge Reinhold and John Ashton surprised me. I wasn't really expecting to like them. I thought they would just be okay side characters, but their chemistry together makes for some really funny moments. Another guy that stood out for some weird reason is Serge, played by Bronson Pinchot, who played Balky from Perfect Strangers.
Of course, no, don't be ridiculous.
He's barely in the movie, but he's oddly hilarious, which is why he's most likely in all the sequels, right? Unfortunately, the villains are pretty basic. It's just your evil businessman and henchman. Steven Berkoff, who played Maitland, did a good job. He wasn't bad, but there's nothing memorable about his character. I didn't really understand why he was evil other than wanting to be rich. He was just a stale bad guy. Jonathan Banks was also in this as Maitland's right-hand man. Every time he was on screen, I thought of Mike from Breaking Bad. Other than that, I don't really have anything to say about him. He's also fine. The soundtrack for the film is pure 80s awesome. The songs are so fun to listen to. I especially like Don't Get Stopped in Beverly Hills. Oh, and I can't go without saying that Axel F is one of the most iconic themes ever created. I honestly didn't even know it was specifically made for this film. I first heard it in Monsters vs. Aliens. There's been countless parodies of this, including in The Simpsons, and what I remember the most, Clerks, the animated series.
As the jury reached a verdict. Hold it! Billy, I need your help, man. All right, Axel.
Overall, this is such a fun 80s film to watch. Eddie Murphy delivers such a great performance and is charismatic as always. Most of the characters are great, the music is kick-ass, there's not many action scenes like we see in movies today, but the dialogue makes up for that. I can't recommend this movie enough. I'd even go out to say that it's one of the best comedy/action films ever made. Or just like the back of the VHS says, it's a fast-paced adventure that proves the difference between a really good comedy and the great comedy is Eddie Murphy. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, that's some odd wording. Anyways, go grab some pizza, pop this film in, or stream it, and have some fun. I'm going to give Beverly Hills Cop 9.98 out of 10 bananas. I mentioned earlier that Eddie Murphy improvised a lot of his lines, including the supercop scene, which made it almost unbearable for Ashton and Reinhold to keep a serious face. Ashton was pinching his face, and Reinhold was pinching his thigh as hard as he could to avoid breaking character. Axel's t-shirt is from an actual Detroit area high school that one of the filmmakers went to. After the movie came out, the school got ambushed with orders for the shirt from people all around the world. When they were trying to decide who would play Rosewood and Taggart, director Martin Brest paired up many finalists together to see which couple would have good chemistry. Once Ashton and Reinhold were together, Brest told them, "You're a middle-aged couple, married for years, and you're having a conversation on an average evening." Reinhold grabbed a nearby magazine and improvised the red meat in his bowels bit. Brest liked this so much they added that into the final film. Axel's boss, Inspector Todd, was an actual real-life Detroit Police Department homicide detective. He later served as president of the Detroit City Council. In the first scene where Police Chief Hubbard is in, Stephen Elliott is carrying some rolled up sheets of paper. He's actually holding one of the scripts, which was a complete accident, but Brest thought it helped him look the part more, so they kept it in the final film. The classic banana in the tailpipe gag wasn't in the original script. Originally, Axel stuffs potatoes he stole from the hotel kitchen, but they didn't have time to film the scene, so they rewrote the script to have Axel get the bananas from the buffet in the lobby. For a majority of the opening shots in Detroit, director Martin Brest was escorted by police who would actually refuse to follow him at points when they felt that the location was too dangerous. Now that's spooky. And finally, that's director Martin Brest as a clerk who checked Axel out of the hotel. Well, that video's over. Tune in next week where we take a look at what happens when we put Kurt Russell and Martin Short in a boat together. Until next time, don't forget to please be kind, rewind. And if you've been wondering why I was wearing the sunglasses the entire time, well, I got a secret for you. I don't have any eyeballs.